Hello, it's me, Poison. I hope everyone is doing good today. As we get everything set up, we're running just a little bit behind, but that's okay. But yeah, I hope everyone is having a good day so far. Hello, Silver Sun. I hope you're doing good. But yeah, no, I accidentally fell asleep earlier and woke up like about 30 minutes before stream, and I was like, oh no, that wasn't intended purpose. But hey, we're here. And I almost always say, like, if you fell asleep, it's probably because you needed it. But yeah, no, I'm still trying to wake up my brain. As well as pull up all of my stream monitor stuff. Making sure I post that I am live, because I oftentimes forget to. But yeah, so I am still waking up. How are you doing? Make sure chatbot is working. It is. Put up the stream monitor. Yeah. But yeah, so today we're going to be doing the finishing touches on the Seven Deadly Sins models. Well, model that's going to have like two different outfits that I want to make have the special effect to do the transition while live, similar to how I have the invisible woman model, the also the diamond one that switches from regular to diamond form. I want to do that, but with Merlin v. Bon. Okay. There we go. Add a status notification on my iPhone that paused my face tracker, but it should be good now. But it does mean I have to recalibrate the face real fast. There we go. Hey, you going on a road trip? Oh, nice. I used to go on a lot of road trips when I was younger, so now I hate going on them now. Um, but I know a lot of people like them. I just, a car, I hate being trapped in a car for like hours. Because like I basically grew up on a tour bus. So like being on a car in a car for like days at a time, I was like, oh no. Even though it's like a bus, so like there's room to like to be, but I did not enjoy it as a child who liked being outside a lot. Oh, nice. I think I've been to Louisiana like 3 times, but I don't remember. But again, I've been to a lot of different states that I don't remember because of the tour bus situation. I grew up in a musical family, so like that's why the tour bus also. Uh, Not like huge, huge. Oh, oh, that's not bad at all. See, when I'm thinking sometimes about the like car journey, I'm thinking like a week in the car. That's what burnt me out of it. 4 hours is not bad at all. Let's see. Oh yeah, and then one time I drove all the way from Texas to North Carolina. And like typically you should stop, but I was like I don't want to be in the car any longer than I have to be. So I drove straight from Texas to North Carolina. I think it took me 13 hours. And I listened to American Dad like the entire way. I watched multiple seasons of American Dad on that drive. Well, listened to multiple seasons of American Dad on that drive. Let's see. Making sure everything's prepped on my screen. Oh, I need to switch my headphones. Yeah. Do, do, do. And make sure there's no audio playback. It doesn't look like there is. I need to find like a playlist of like non-copyrighted music for when I'm doing art. And I mean like stuff that won't get flagged on YouTube either, because sometimes Baby No Money allows the stuff to be streamed, but YouTube is silly sometimes and will like auto detect the song because YouTube's policy is technically no copyright music, even if it's allowed, unless you're like the copyright holder. Yeah, honestly, I was crafty, but like most of my family was not. But I was a cosplayer who grew up not being allowed to like wear costumes, so it was complicated. Let's see. Do, 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 do. I think we're ready to go to the live scene. Live scene. And we're gonna move me to the other side. Boop. Right here. But yeah, so we have, for the most part, the Merlin side of the outfit is done. I might want to clean up a little bit of the line work. And what we have to do for the Bond side of the outfit is I have 2 extra layers that I need to make like the metal studs on. Let's see. Oh, not on this. This is not the right layer. Go down to pants. So this is the jacket top. I'm gonna make this black. This one is gonna be red. And the purpose of doing this is so that way I can go here, increase the volume, and once all of the red is invisible, I know this is thick enough. Oh, nice. Honestly, so I played ZCC on my computer, and it was pretty good, but playing it on mobile, I do think it has one of the better mobile experiences for like a like game that's on phone. Open world games, I definitely prefer playing on PC, and which makes me like woo a lot. But like when it comes to playing on my phone, I kind of think ZCZ is one of the better games that you can play. Like, and although I have been paid to say that at a point, right now I'm not paid to say it, so you can trust it. No, for those of you who aren't familiar, I have been sponsored by like every MiHoYo game. Clean this up. A lot of these lines need to be cleaned up. I don't know how this happened because I'm pretty sure I made this with Mirror Tool. There we go. Okay. So I want to take this, go new, and I'm going to take off that part. And I'm going to leave this part revealed for me so that way I can place the metal studs in the right spot, but it'll get hidden after I finish. I've been listening to a lot of Chrissy Chalpanek. Chapelneck? I don't know how to say her last name. I've been listening to a lot of this one up and coming like lesbian pop singer. Replug in my drop head. And switch my audio, because my audio is currently going through the wrong speakers. It should be going through this. Yeah. Yeah, so... Ooh. My drop pod was turned off. I was like, screen's still not popping up. I'm gonna pull up a picture of Bond so I can place the studs in the right spot too. Do 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 do. But yeah, no, okay, so one of the recent videos I posted, which was like poison out of context, uh, got a lot of likes and got a lot of dislikes. Like I think it's 70-40, 70-30 split, which is funny to me because that's like one of my lower dislike to like ratios. 70% like, 30% dislike, but it's also one of my videos that's gained the most subscribers single-handedly, which I think is a funny thing. Apparently the snakes agree. I almost pulled up a picture of my WIP. I don't need a picture of me, I need the picture of Bon. Okay. I'm not going to put them exactly, and they're not going to look exactly like how they are here. Because I think I'm going to make mine more like emo cover / rock band. So we're going to do like a square stud instead of like a circle stud. Let's see. I do think I want to use mirror tool for this. And we're going to use this silver, and noting that this one is definitely going to have different properties. I will also say, when it comes to ZZZ, I haven't played too much. Like, I'm still very far behind in the story mode. Right now, it's just something I play, like, very occasionally. Let's see. Oh, I see what's happened here. So I need to go down here. And this is the other reason why I use 2 layers. I mean, this is the other reason why I wanted to keep them both up. I'm going to take the belted and we're going to make this not as belted because we want this to be lifted from the other. And that should help a bit. And then after I do these studs, I'm going to need to go back and look at the band again. But we're going to finish the studs first. I do agree with them having 5 visible on the front side. Let's see. And then I guess one more right here. Oop. Eraser. Then I continue this on the back side. And I'm gonna ignore this bottom part because I'm probably gonna have to fix that anyways. We are gonna be a little bit lazier on the back because it's not gonna be as visible. So actually, I probably won't fix this. I probably just will let it be like something that curves downwards. There we go. Lower back. I'm just gonna set this to a negative number. Because that will help a lot. 20. Oop, it's not sticking. There we go. Yeah. I'm actually gonna try making this with my mouse. This is definitely something that would be easier in Clip Studio. But it's harder for me to get the placement right in Clip Studio. I just don't have the stabilize tools that I do there. Also, I think almost every artist can relate to this, but there's some days where you're just like, why can't I draw a straight line? Sometimes it's because my draw pad's calibration's off or something. But yeah, I'm not going to worry too much about the studs on the back. We're going to be primarily focused on these. And making sure they look good. Ooh, speaking of which, I'm going to export. We're going to go ahead and export these as their own thing, so I can go ahead and make the like stud look more studly. Oh wait, first I should put the studs everywhere, then export. Okay. Up next, we're going to do the studs on the jacket part, the upper part of the jacket. Noting that I'm probably just going to fix a lot of this in Clip Studio when it comes to like how they're shaped. So I'm not going to focus too much on correcting the shape here. The thing I mean mostly is their size to be right. Eraser. They have a new stamp tool in this, but I don't think they're gonna have the stamp I need. Oh, that's neat. So I could just actually make it my own stamp. Well, now I know that for next time. For this time, we're just still gonna use just hand drawing it out method. Especially because this is taking space over like a couple of different sizes. So if you notice how this cube is bigger than these cubes but looks smaller, that's because it has to cover up based off of the topographic map there. So I don't even think a stamp tool would be that helpful for me for what I'm drawing right here. And I don't mind if these aren't all uniform sized. Okay, and then I need one more for right here, which I'm probably going to draw this one on the jacket just to ensure it gets shaped right. Yeah, that was the right decision. Because if I didn't do that there, that square would not look square. Does his buttons go all the way around? They do. I don't think I'll put all of the buttons. No, I probably will. Before I continue that sentence. Yeah, no, I should. Especially because it's so close to the face, and my face is like a big focal point for me, so if I was gonna cheap out on buttons, I would need to pick a different area. Okay, then up here. Let's see, each one is about this big. And then I'm gonna take the eraser, clean this one up. It would have been so much easier for me if I just used one of these boxes for the size reference, but I didn't do that. In hindsight, it's 2020. In cosplay, I used to come up with reasons why my outfit wasn't perfect, and it would be like, oh, the character made it themselves, or like in this situation, it's like, oh, maybe like they studded the jacket themselves. Like it came unstudded and they put the studs in, but like maybe they had their head turned to the side half the time, because that's how my head is half the time. So then they like did not get put on straight. Just add personality to your mistakes, and then they become more lovable. Okay, so we've got that. I do think I want to do like on the shoulder as well. The shoulder one's going to be a little difficult though. So I need to go like right here. Actually, I'm going to start it over down here. And then this is where I wish I could turn this sideways. Let me see. So I need it to be lower than that one. I think we might go for there. I'm going to learn from my mistake that I did on the collar, and I'm just going to try to size one of these boxes to be one of my boxes. And this will help me keep this size more uniform. I honestly should have done this for everywhere. It's just colored in one box for the studs. Because that probably would have made life a lot easier. Definitely makes spacing a lot easier. Let's see. I think no, I don't want to skip. I'll do this here. I'm gonna hide these. Okay. Okay, and then his has ones going down the arm too. So I'm gonna copy that as well. Erase. And I'm gonna move this further down. Well, first, cut that. Yes. Now move further down. I'm still very curious to see how this is gonna turn out as far as like when we get to the transfer of it all. There's a slight chance that if I can't get the effect to work, I'll just export it as two separate models, which will then still cut down on the amount of time that I have to spend boning the model. Because instead of having to boning two models, I'll only have to bone one. It would be a waste of polygons, but like might end up saving me time in the end. And then for weeks where I know I'm planning out multiple models, I just gotta think that through and see like if there's anything that I can combine. Okay. I need to be paying close attention to when we get to the wrist area, because when I get to the cuff, I'm going to want to wrap the thing around the cuff. So this will probably be the last one that's not at the cuff. Base. I'm going to get to the one that's on the cuff. I'm just going to wrap this around. I could see where the stamp tool could be used here, like whenever doing this part, but I haven't spent much time using it. So definitely don't want to pull it out right now. But for our next model, we'll try the vroid stamp tool for like repeating patterns. Zoom in. The other issue is that, so like oftentimes artists like say you should never zoom into a picture. The problem here is that right now I'm using like a 2 pixel wide brush, and if I don't zoom in, I won't be able to see anything like what I'm drawing. And I have to do this at that pixel size because of the resolution of the image. And then I'm gonna put one more right here. I'm gonna say that's probably good. Then I'm gonna hide. Now, one thing I'm also gonna do is I'm gonna export this image, and then I'm gonna load it on the previous one, so that way there's silver backing these studs, so I don't have them just floating in air. Let me just actually first fill some of these spot holes. I'm doing this part with the mouse. Just want to, because some of you may not know this, but my first models that I made, I didn't have a draw pad, so I used my mouse to draw them. I wasn't even using a third party program at that point. for like the draw section. Because part of my opinion when it comes to VTubing is that if you wait till you have everything you need and everything's going to be perfect, then you're just going to have to like wait even longer because of the fact that it takes a while to build up a following in VTubing. So just go ahead and like make part of your growth as like the process, so that way you can get started, and so that way when things are perfect, you actually have an audience. Because you might just be building a perfection to an audience of no one. And all of the VTubers you see that like are super big, like really early on, a little bit of a secret is that this isn't their first time VTubing. Even the cow VTuber actually had a persona before this. Will I go over any of those personas? No, because that would be uncouth of me. But just in case you felt bad because you're like, oh wow, this VTuber is so big and they only started yesterday. Chances are that's actually not true. Especially if their setup is already perfect, unless they're like a corporate VTuber, because it's not the corporation's first time VTubing. But yeah, that's a little bit of a, if you weren't following, you may not know that. But yeah, because one of the bright sides about VTubing is like, let's say if you wanted to do that, your first persona you can just execute and then restart your channel and make a new persona. But I definitely think you should, if you're thinking about VTubing, you should go live as soon as you are ready to, just so that way you can actually figure out what it's like being live. And even if it's right for you, because some people think that they want to stream but then end up not liking it. There's a few times where I started streaming, but I just was not at a good point in my life to stream, so I just stopped. But now I'm not in college anymore, so I can stream without having so many other things that are going on. Let's see. I want to make sure that these are all good. I have a feeling this is on this layer. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and erase here. I'll need to fix this, but this is on the body layer. And because my base model, I had this messed up. But yeah, no, a lot of VTubers that seem to, quotation marks, hit it big right out the gate, is because it's not their first time out the gate. So they have practiced, they know what they need to do, and they're able to hit the ground running. Like I guarantee, even though like I don't have a large subscribe following right now, that if I were to like restart everything with a completely new persona, that the persona that I would make new would likely get to the point that I am right now in like half the time it took me to get here now. For one, I talk way more during streams than I used to. My setup's a lot better. My mic quality leagues better than it was when I started. Like there's been a lot of small incremental improvements that I wouldn't have made unless I knew they were a problem, and I didn't know they were a problem because I wasn't streaming. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing we did with the bottom part, with this part, which means we're gonna have this showing, switch it to black, go to the volume side, Gonna unshrink this and then expand bodysuit until we see black. And then we're gonna hide that. Leave this up for now. New layer. Hide this. And I'm gonna do some metal studs. Now their metal studs on their pants, they just go around the belt and down the sides. I'm thinking I might do metal studs going down the center and the sides. I'm also gonna need to like change the coloring here, but one step at a time. Let's see. I mean, also my models look a lot better than what they used to. Because you just get better over time and practice makes better. The saying's practice makes perfect, but I don't like that because I prefer practice makes better because you can't guarantee that eventually it'll be perfect, but you can guarantee that it will get better. Barring something that's life altering and changes the course of everything. I had a pair of pants that had this studs down the center part of the crotch area. I was about to say, these need to be way smaller going down the center part. There we go. No, I hope that like no one who is a pre-existing VTuber sees that and gets offended by it. But I do like, for some of them, they have valid reasons for wanting to restart. And a lot of the times, from what I've seen, can't say this is true for everyone, but the restart is just because they wanted to like try again with a more clear brand, which is like not an issue. Some of them are doing it deceitfully, but others are genuinely just wanting to try something different and feeling like trapped by their pre-existing identity. Personally, like even when I was so I used to do singing videos and I left up even the bad ones because I'm like, I like singing used to be my main content the first time I tried like streaming. But I left up even the bad ones because it's like I like to show the progress. So as a VTuber, even if there's some stuff that like looks kind of meh, I like to leave it because I like people to be able to see like where I was and where I am now. These hip studs are going to be complicated. Yeah. Um, I will say I do kind of prefer, like, they don't have to tell me who their persona was because like they're restarting for a reason, but I do prefer when, oh, I should not have done that. Because this is going to be hidden, so I do not need to be making edits like that. Yeah, okay. I do prefer it when they're honest about restarting, just because I like it for a sense of transparency, and also because there's lots of new VTubers who expect to be at that point from the get-go, and that's just not it's not a reasonable expectation to have of yourself. Because it's not a reasonable expectation that's been set yet. It's a expectation you set not knowing the full information. That being said, I can understand why if you're restarting because you're part of like some drama, why you would not want to say that. That was a little bit of shade, but that's fine. Not enough shade to cancel over, but it was just a little bit. Because it implies that the only reason not to tell someone is that you did something wrong. No, it is. I will say the amount of times that that's been the thing that I've discovered is the reason why they restarted. Again, can't say it's for everyone, but I can say it's happened enough times for it to be noted. Me having to restart my channel because of that statement would be really funny. Hello, TK. I hope you're doing well. We are currently mapping out the studs that are going to be added in on the vroid stage. I mean, on the Unity stage. I think one of the reasons why I'm able to talk so much right now is because I am doing this part. We're gonna add the studs on the sides. We need to mark that. Okay, so it's these squares. So it bends the least in this line, so we're gonna do it on this line. And honestly, I wouldn't even say restarting your channel because of drama is the wrong reason, because I believe people can change and they can grow from things. I also believe it's up to other people to get to decide whether they want to go through that with the person. That being said, is like, hey, sometimes that's overwhelming and people can't handle it. I'm sure there's lots of people who would change their entire face if they could in real life. And the internet does give you a space where you can just restart. Also, it would be very hypocritical for me to say, like, blub, 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 because, like, technically, this is not my first YouTube channel. Of course, the other one I tried was, like, had a lot of my real face, so I didn't want to, do that with my VTubing, because I might do a face reveal at some point. I'm just not there yet, and I wanted my brand to be more my VTuber self than my face, because my channels where I've used my face grew a lot faster, and I want to grow because my VTubing is good, not because of my looks, if that makes sense. And sometimes it's hard for me to gauge genuine growth with using my actual face. I do find it funny when I say that because like it implies that I'm some kind of like supermodel, but I'm not. Like I am average plus maybe, but like I am not like A tier. I'm like premium light. solid, like, yeah. I've also never been good at self-rating myself. These are way too close to each other. This is gonna be hard because these are really warped when it comes to like the board. What I'm drawing them on. Yeah, that's. You might have to also accept that the leg ones are going to be maybe a little bit wonky, but they're not going to be on screen hardly ever. So we'll probably just accept that. I do typically like to have the full model designed to be on screen, just because like I'll know it's not like that. But in this scenario, we're just gonna accept. There we go. Do 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 do. I have to add some that go up the side. I don't like how different these squares are from each other. But like I said, it's gonna be really hard to make them all the same size when it comes to the leg. Because each of these boxes technically cover the same amount of space. So the space in this box is the same as the space in this box. And that's what we call topographic. So if I draw this line right here, let's choose one that's on screen. If I draw a line right here, and then I draw a line right here, they're the same size. But so it makes, that's why these boxes, when I draw the box to look the same size, it changes based off where the box is. I hate that I drew that all almost exactly how they needed to be, making my example of it being wrong really difficult. Listen, you just gotta trust me. I should have done it on the knee because the boxes go sideways. I want to do the example now that I can show. Okay. Incoming, a good example of the wrong thing. Yeah, so. Why is it? Oh, that's the back of the knee. But yeah, there we go. See how these boxes look over here, but then how they look over here? I still love that even when I tried to do there, I still almost made them the same size. I'm partially training myself to do that, but it's kind of funny that intentionally doing it over here has been really difficult, but trying to do it incorrectly made it seem like it's really easy. Maybe that's what I need to do. I just need to try to make mistakes all the way down, and then I'll have perfected it. I do think I was using too small of a brush earlier. I'm gonna need to put one right here. I think the thing that's actually harder than making the boxes themselves is the spacing in between the boxes. Also, as a side note, sometimes it's going to sound like I say a lot of nothing. That is part of me training myself to talk more often. I appreciate everyone who participates, even if I haven't said much of anything. Thank you, because I need to make myself say more. Because it's really hard to have be endearing and be silent. And I've worked so much on my models that I almost forgot to work also on my personality as a streamer. So like, let it be known that the current goal is for me to become a better personality on screen and not just look pretty, which is funny because the whole one of the reasons why I like started VTubing was for that reason, is to be more for my personality than how I looked. But maybe I guess old habits die hard. Oh yeah, speaking of looking average, the amount of like fake dating profiles that have my picture is insane. Because when I lived in California, I used to get like sent them from my friends all the time. And I'm like, why are you using my face? One person I confronted about it said like something that stuck with me to this day. They're like, well, you're believable attractive. And I'm like, question mark, thanks. Like, not hard enough that people wouldn't believe that you were talking to them. Again, sometimes you shouldn't ask questions because you don't want to know the answer. Yeah, so when I lived in California, I experienced a very weird epidemic of people using my face for their dating profiles. Um, like I would get sent from I had a lot of friends in California where I lived there. I would get sent pictures of like people's like say Grinder, Tinder, etc. using my face, like trying to catfish as me. And the only like I confronted one person and they said the reason why they like to use my face was because I was believable, like attractive, like not too hot where you wouldn't talk to the person or that they would see it as like a fake account. And I'm like, it's such it's a backhanded compliment, but it's still a compliment. You know what I mean? I mean I appreciate the person like actually having dialogue with me. I'm pretty sure they stopped, but I would have no way to know if they did. We can just add that to the list of reasons why I'm a VTuber instead of using my face. That plus I do have actual IRL stalkers, so okay, I need one more. Oh, that spacing is terrible. Okay, hide. Okay. And now I gotta redo this section. Yeah, people really do like that type of thing. I so I never really understood it, but I was like listening to someone else talk about their thing, and I kind of got it because I'm like, like everyone understands parasocial relationships online, but like even though they're using a fake face, for them it still feels like they're getting the compliments or they're getting the attention. Um, so like I understand it. I don't approve of it, but I understand it more now. Like there's a little bit of nuance to be had there, but not enough for me to condone it. But I've always been that way where even if I don't agree with what I figure out, I want to understand people's logic and reasoning. As a Cardi B once said, what was the reason? What was the reason, though issue? What was the reason? I need to clip that and put the Cardi B me meme in it. Um, and that might be a little bit of autism speaking, but I will also say knowing the reason does help me with the cope, with my copium. Because if I know the reason, I can make logic with it. And if I can make logic with it, I won't feel as like unsettled, even if the information is unsettling. Because once I can understand it, then it don't no longer has that chaos effect of the anything can happen. I think some of this is just gonna be like a little bit messy, and we're just gonna accept that. Because life is a little bit messy sometimes. If I can't accept me at my mess, I don't deserve me at perfect. That did give me, doing that coloring right there did give me an idea though, is that for the left side of this, I'm going to use that same method. Oop, turn off. Take this new both sides. I just feel like this should probably be a little bit darker. Because I think it was too bright red. And then I'm going to take this, which was the former red. I'm going to put it on like the highest parts of the body. Or the parts that like have like a rounded edge to them, like here, here, and here. And I'm going to take a blender. I'm just going to blend these out. And then I'm gonna grab this. Oops, not good. Yeah, no, it is creepy though. I have had a full life of experiencing many people. That's much better on the pants side. That being said, I still need to do this and add some of these gray triangles going all the way up to the side. I think it might end up. I just call these triangles. MS everybody, masters of science. This is my triangle. I mean, I called it that because my idea for the end process is to do lighting in triangle format. But like, still. A square is a rectangle, but a rectangle is also a triangle. No, do not learn shapes from me, please. No, I think one of the things that made it to where my college GPA was so high was the fact that you get to specialize your knowledge. Like, if I'm taking like generalized education, my grade's not gonna be that high. But when I get to take classes that are actually like pertinent to like my interest, my GPA skyrockets because you can force yourself to pay attention, but you can't necessarily always force yourself to learn. Which is one of the reasons why I never blame the Drag Race girls for not knowing the words, because sometimes you're given a song that you just absolutely hate, and I'm sorry, I want you to try to memorize a song that you absolutely hate. And I don't mean like one that just has one verse. Like when Mirage didn't know the words to that one Cher song, I was like, it's very wordy. It's like, why don't you just try memorizing the Gettysburg Express? Like, because when you have to memorize a song that you don't like, it's the equivalent of having to memorize a speech. And I mean, unless it's just like only two verses long. Okay. I think I might want to take, not this one. Go to this one, and I'm gonna take like this. Undo. I'm gonna do another new layer. Turn off this. And I'm gonna take this blur tool. I'm gonna just blur this area. I probably want to just like flatten out this line. Dual side. Okay, and then I do also want to do this. Another new layer. And yes, I am adding some bottom shading. Okay, we're gonna add like a little bit of brightness here. Blend this out. I don't know if this is canonically accurate, but it's canonically accurate for me. Just a little bit of shading. It can't be too aggressive with it because Twitch will get mad, but no, I'm actually really excited because this game comes out really soon. I love how just adding this quick line here is already going better than the first time I outlined anything. Which is also to go to show you is sometimes if you're struggling with a piece, like an art piece or something, take a break, come back to it later. Because that actually might be saved. It might save you more time to take a break than it will to bang your head against the wall. And I agree with that one, even when it comes to like working on science projects, because the amount of time I saved myself by not banging my head against the wall when doing my thesis was immense. Because the time you spend banging your head against the wall, you're actually not thinking clearly. So, go figure. If you give yourself a little bit of a break from that, you'll be a lot better. It's really hard to write with a concussion. That's when I have a bunch of people with concussions in the chat. No, actually, I had 3 concussions and wrote my first book. To them, I say, go to the hospital, please. You should not be having blunt force trauma to the head that frequently. But also, congratulations on becoming an author. Yay, these details are now detailing. They were not detailing before, but now they're adequate. Come back down to this. And that same like black line I added in those spots, I'm gonna add down here. Well, not black, but like that line. I could do the MiHoYo slash uh, just gotcha game in general shading. In case you don't know what that is, it's take like a black outline thing on the edge of like your highlight here on the legs, then take your blend brush and just blend that out. And it helps give dimension to the leg without like having to do too much. I call it MiHoYo slash Genshin shading because that's where I learned to do it, not because that's what they're known for. And I like to name, when I learn how to do something, I like to name it after where I learned how to do it. Even if that doesn't always line up, because sometimes I just learned to do it because like that's how I saw it, but not that's how it was. And there we go. Yep, I would say the Bond side of this outfit is ready. No, I was a little bit upset before stream because I wanted to have this way more done than what it was. But I did mention last time that I was going to do either the uh, Unity side or finish up the vroid side and then the Unity side. And that's what we're doing right now. I was just hoping I would have more of it done before going live. That being said, is yesterday I took for the first time, I actually took the day off and didn't work on anything. So I'm proud of myself still because like I never do that. Now, the question for me here is, do I want to take the shading I did down here and add it up here, or vice versa? And I think I'm going to clean up the shorts first, because I was looking at the shorts right before stream, and I was like, this could use some fast improvements. For one, I don't like how this looks on the sides. That's better. The redeems? Oh, Wardo is not letting me authenticate my Twitch sign-in, and the kind people over there at Wardo are working on the solution right now. I sent them in my computer dialogue stuff. Let me see if it lets me do it again. But yeah, for some reason, my authenticator's not going through randomly. It was going through until recently, and then just out of nowhere, the authenticator stopped going through. I have, but because I'm a villain VTuber, I tried to and he jumped on me and I had to start back over. I'm testing out if I can get it to authenticate now. Because the bug happened randomly, so it might fix itself randomly. That happens sometimes. Because there's not like a specific error in my like settings.